Everybody's got a song inside. Everybody's got a sunny side. Sure as every ocean's got a tide. Everybody's got a song inside.
Roland Willits, OMSR. I'm here with Alberto Perez. And Alberto has been in the family for, about 20 years?
A little over 20 years.
A little over 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. And I was showing him, I said, you see, I got a shirt on here that's family. My sister did this shirt. And you're Puerto Rican, right?
Yes, sir.
Puerto Rican. And when I was in Puerto Rico, I found out that the song, the Puerto Rican song, is car alarms going off. Because you'd sit up in I set up in this hotel room, and you'd have the windows open, and you'd hear all night long, you'd hear car alarms going off. Well, enough of Puerto Rico. We're talking about writing today. And you are an absolutely fantastic writer. I've seen your work in action. You do movie scripts, right?
Yes.
And I watched my son in one of your movies. And did you do all script on that?
It was a collaborative effort, but
Okay.
I did most of the writing.
That is so cool. So, what are you doing now?
Well, right now, currently working on a feature film that I started shooting last March, so it's about the year mark. It's in post-production right now. We should have a teaser trailer coming out pretty soon. And trying to wrap up the whole thing by May, so I've been focusing a lot onto that. I have a web series that I'm starting up, repiloting it from an old web series, working on that. And I got a number of feature scripts that I have to do some editing and stuff, but I got a lot of projects on my plate.
Oh,
So
wow.
Keep it busy.
That will keep you busy. And you're writing all the time?
Yeah.
Maybe grab you to help write some songs for me.
My songwriting's not up to where it used to be, but
Okay.
but I could probably help you with that too.
You could probably do one, huh?
Yeah.
Whip one out in a couple minutes. So, what are your scripts normally? What area? I mean, is it sort of universal, or do you have a theme that you like?
Lately I've noticed that most of my scripts are kind of about, or they're underdogs, the underdog story. I was always a fan of high school and college movies in the 1980s. So that's like really influenced kind of the subject matter, because so much happens in that little amount of time to people that molds them into the men and women that they become.
That's right, yeah.
And most of my stories are set in that kind of coming of age, finding oneself kind of.
It is turning points, isn't it? So you show both sides, and you show different equations of the way people, the actions they take, and the at least the results during the video or movie. You bring them into old age in some of these stories, or just keep it right within the time frame.
I keep it within the time frame. I mean, for budgeting matters and stuff, like the stuff that I produce is on the lower end. So you want to try to tell as much story as possible in a short amount of time. And I'm not saying like minute wise, but like I don't have the capabilities yet to put someone into makeup 30 years later or so on and so forth, or changing, the stuff I write usually takes place within a span of a week within the story.
So you have your intro, your base story, and then your conclusion, all within a week's time.
Right.
That takes awesome writing. That's really cool. And are these normally major life instances or just small ones?
Like
a relationship.
Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes it's the feature that we're working on right now. It's about two guys that are just so desperate to pay their rent that they make some very serious decisions and make some mistakes along the way that completely changes their lives around. And this one actually takes place in 48 hours. So within 48 hours, they're in completely different locations, and their personalities have completely changed.
Wow!
Because of the events that have happened.
That can happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how fast life can change stuff, and you try to get ready for everything, but you never know, do you? And you come up with those awesome transition stuff and present it in story form, and then make movies of it. That's great. So do you have like the characters and what they say too? You write all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a process that I mean, everybody has a different process, but I like when I write. What I like to do is, first and foremost, I like to develop my characters. I like to know who I'm going to be writing. So I might come up with a bio for each character, just for myself, because whoever watches it, they're not going to know all this stuff. But just so I know what kind of person this guy or this girl is going to be.
You want to have a consistent personality.
Right. So I'll come up with the background for him, and I'll list that out. And, this guy does this. He's this kind of person. She does this. She's this kind of person. She grew up here. Try to give as much background as possible for myself, so there's a consistency in the character once I start putting things down to paper.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. And so, on the sidelines, you have created the whole personality around this person. Then you just pull out a little segment of them,
mm-hmm.
and you have to somehow, in that very short time period, bring out that personality, emphasize the whole thing, and then show if he's going to change. Actually, show the change.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! You got to do that just words for these. I do videos and movies and. That's a lot to put in half hour. So how long are your movies going to be?
So what I've done so far is the longest thing I've shot is 20 minutes. But this project that we're currently working on is it's at 2 hours right now.
So this is a long one. This is your first big one.
First feature film, yeah. It's those short films are actually more difficult. A lot of people think, feature films, there's so much time and so much you have to do, and the only thing that's difficult about a feature film is money. Like you need to get production money to pay for food, pay your crew, so on and so forth. That's the toughest part. On the story level, because there's so much time, you have a little more freedom to kind of stretch things out. When you do a short film, you have to do everything perfect, right on the dot, and get everything out within that, sometimes 5 to 10 minute span. Which makes it more difficult because now you don't have the luxury of stretching things out. You have to condense everything and make sure that you make the right decision, picking which points the important points that you need to.
Yeah, it is. It is. I say short story writers and long story writers, same thing. You gotta move through a whole journey and create a whole picture of. And you have multiple personalities too, don't you? Mm-hmm. At the same time, do within a very short time. Wow! So you got a 2 hour one. Can you? What's going to be about? Can I know that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a dark comedy, and the log line for it is, and for those that don't know, log line is usually when you go and you look up a movie on IMDb or something, there'll be like 2 sentences that'll say what the movie's about. So it gives you an idea of what you're going to be watching, but it doesn't give away the entire plot. And the log line for this is there's two brothers decide to rob the wrong person. And that's it, one sentence.
Oh. That, and it's about two brothers and the robbed person.
Yep. So you have this triangle, and then within a span of 48 hours, anything that will go wrong does go wrong. And the only thing these guys are worried about is trying to get enough money to pay the rent for the month.
Wow. Wow. And they decide to do it by robbing. That is not a good. That's not a really good long-term type.
No, it's not the best career choice.
Yep. So that's funny. You could create some dizzies, couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
So it's a comedy with it's a comedy, and how does it come out, happy or sad?
That's still being debated.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we're still.
Okay. You can actually wait till.
There's different ways we have the footage, and there's different ways to go about it. But
Okay, so you've done cuts on both directions, so you actually have multiple plots that you've actually written, and they've acted out, and then you could pull either one in you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! Or like some have done, they actually show the different endings.
Yeah, that's for the DVD release.
What? Wow!
Alternate endings.
Alternate endings, yeah. And I've sort of is it any kind of mystery, or is it just no mystery in it, just story?
It's pretty straightforward. I think the most difficult part is when you write these kind of things, is that when your heroes are obviously doing bad stuff, you have to somehow still make them likable for the audience.
Oh, I see.
Because as an audience, when you're watching the star of a movie and you don't like them, it's really hard to stay.
It's hard to turn it on.
Yeah. It's hard. A lot of people they'll tune out because I don't like whoever the star of the movie is.
Yeah, I want someone to end up here a hero, start a hero, end up hero. In the interim, I don't care how. That's the story.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right.
That's normal. Yeah. So that's what you have to create all that and create different plots that haven't been shown in other movies if you can. Right.
Right.
Man, we're lucky. We're infinite as beings. Everybody could do all that. So I am really impressed. And do I get a DVD? Do I get to buy a movie for one of them and see it?
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
we premiered somewhere big. You got an invite.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's wonderful if it premieres. I'd like to see it, and the premiere part is the chance of the gods. Okay. We never know in life, what the next turn is going to be. You can have the same kind of thing happen, absolutely wonderful in your life, and just like the guys had something terrible in their life. I think that's what happened. So we'll look forward to that, and I'll look forward to when you sign on the. Would you be the one signing the Chinese thing, in Hollywood Boulevard?
I might.
That'd be really cool.
That's a ways away.
Huh?
That's a ways away.
One never knows.
You never know.
One never knows. It's like things can turn around like in an instant. You could just all of a sudden have that flag fly, and you were the one lifting it, and all of a sudden you're sitting and they see you have a statue all over the country of you pushing up the flag in Iwo Jima, and you're probably there or a supply surgeon. So you never know how life's going to happen. And so we're going to end this because we do have a limit in our show.
All right.
So let's see. Alberto Perez, Old Man Stories. That's what you say.
Okay. Alberto Perez, Old Man Stories.
Sure as every ocean's got a tide, everybody's got a song inside.